Thank you, Chairman Gibbs, for today's hearing on the Great Lakes Initiative, or Restoration Initiative, and thus providing the subcommittee with a chance to review the progress made in the restoration of one of our nation's greatest resources, the Great Lakes. I welcome to our witnesses and look forward to hearing your testimony and to engaging dialogue on this very successful program. The Great Lakes Restoration Initiative, known as GLRI, something like that, was organized in 2010 to coordinate the multitude of efforts already underway to protect and restore the Great Lakes, the world's largest system of fresh surface water and the source of drinking water for over 40 million Americans. As we can imagine, the economic importance of the Great Lakes to the country cannot be overstated. The 4.3 million recreational boats registered in the Great Lakes alone create nearly $16 billion in economic activities each year that support 107,000 jobs annually. Specifically, the program was created to clean up toxics and address areas of concern, combat invasive species, of which I'm very interested in how you combat the quagga mussel issue, because that's California's biggest issue in some of the western states. To protect watersheds from pollutant-laden runoff, restore wetlands and track progress, education, especially on invasive species, I think, and collaboration with strategic partners, including state and local governments and other stakeholders. During the first 5 years of this program, $1.68 billion of federal funding was allocated to over 2,100 projects that were implemented to improve water quality, control or eradicate harmful invasive species, and restore valuable ecosystems. In that time, and because of federal support, the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative has enjoyed the following accomplishments. 5 areas of concern have been removed from the list of contaminated areas. 42 beneficial use impairment in 17 areas of concern were removed. Target level control populations have been reached for multiple invasive species, including the bighead carp, sea lamprey, and emerald ash borer. Interesting. Federal and state local partners increased the number of acres of farmland enrolled in agricultural conservation programs in the program, priority watersheds, by more than 80%. More than 100,000 acres of wetlands and 48,000 acres of coastal, upland, and inland habitat are now protected. While much more work remains to be done, these are demonstrable successes, and I commend today's witnesses for their dedication to the success of this program. In September 2013, GAO released a report recommending EPA develop a more comprehensive and useful progress assessment tool for demonstrating the program's accomplishment. Understand that we look at some of these things and we want to understand it and not have to ask questions about what does it mean. GAO found that the GLRI's monitoring system at the time may have been deficient, but also found that GAO and others have noted that quantifying overall restoration progress in the Great Lakes is a very difficult task, and that it's often impossible to link specific environmental changes to specific programs or projects, which most of them are long-term. Again, earlier this year, the GAO concluded an extensive study of the use of these funds. It examined the amount of the funds available for projects and process used by GLRI to identify projects and the GLRI's reporting tools. I am very pleased to say that EPA took action to address, thank you very much, the recommendations made by the draft GAO report prior to the release of the report, and in doing so, established a new system for entering data and created new data control methods. Having undertaken these efforts, EPA and its partners will be better able to track and demonstrate the success of the program. So in the 5 short years, this program's, since its inception, communities through the Great Lakes region have enjoyed measurable results that have made a difference in the lives of their citizens and their economy. One might ask, what has made the difference? And to answer this question, I point to the GAO report published in September 2004, which found that the lack of clearly defined organizational leadership posed a major obstacle, and that coordinating existing restoration efforts across the many participating organizations was a significant challenge. So we need to be able to address that so we can understand it when we are able to go through and look at what improvements, what challenges have been addressed. I would argue that today you have overcome these challenges. Simply put, this is one of the most influential coordinated interagency efforts in the country and stands as an example of what we can achieve when multiple partners agree, work together toward a common goal, politics aside. Again, I welcome our witnesses and thank you for your testimony. And Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Before I recognize our witnesses, we have a little bit of house